Are you ready to escape the authenticity trap? Okay, I got you. So what is the authenticity trap? This is the trap where you start creating on YouTube for fun, to share your light with the people, to have a good old time. And people loved it because you're amazing and you started having all of the success, which you're like, ooh, what a treat. And then because you love the success and you want to keep it and you want to grow it, you're like, what do people want to see me create versus what do I want to create? And because you're not actually being yourself, which is why people liked you in the first place, your channel flops. Does this sound familiar? Let's talk about escaping this trap because it is totally possible to do it, and it doesn't mean that you have to quit your YouTube like so many creators have been doing lately. First thing you need to do is you need to really examine and understand for yourself what YouTube means to you. I think we all start from this place of like joy and fun and creativity, maybe to make some money, to grow your community, all these other things, right? But you actually, hopefully, right, you want to make videos. When I started my YouTube channel, it was all about sharing, doing hair tutorials, doing travel vlogs. I also had a full-time job, so I could just let YouTube be this place for my creative expression. And my full-time job, it was a small nonprofit, which meant everyone's fingers were in every single pie. And so you couldn't ever really just create something and own it. 5 to 10 people had to give you their feedback on every single thing. It was so frustrating. And YouTube was that place where I could just create something and it was just what I wanted to make, and I loved it. But it's really easy for there to be other underlying things going on when it comes to why you actually are creating. I know for me, there was a real energy of wanting external validation. I still love compliments. There's this guy on here who literally, with a consistency, comments on every single thing I make and is just like,
"You so pretty."
I'm just like, bro, I love it. If you want to, by the way, leave a comment in this video about my, you know, beauty or my light or my energy. Like, it's fine, okay? Do I have a praise kink? Maybe, all right, maybe. Let's find out together. You praise me in the comments and then we see what my body does. How about that? There are other reasons why you probably started YouTube that may or may not be obvious to you, but they will become obvious the more you create. Another reason for a lot of folks, if they're looking to it as a way to make money, is they think their financial security and their financial safety is gonna come from YouTube. And so it's not just about being in their full expression and following their heart. They're like, I need money. Where's that AdSense? Where's the revenue? And as a result, the joy, you know, and the inspiration is throttled because you're so focused on making money. YouTube also became a part of my identity. And that's when it starts getting tricky. When something's a part of your identity, it's gonna be very, very hard for you to release it and to let it go because it gives you this really deep sense of meaning. I had no idea what all of these different things would do to my sense of creative freedom. I don't think you can know until you experience it yourself, or you watch a video like this, which will tell you exactly what might happen. And now that I believe that YouTube was key to my financial safety and my financial security, it became less about my free creative expression and much more about how do we make sure I keep this safety and do whatever I need to do and make whatever I need to make to hold on to that. I bought this sewing machine. Oh my gosh, it's right here. I'm just gonna show you because I love it so much. Is this my sewing machine? And I was so excited to have this sewing machine, and I didn't unbox it for like 4 days because I was so committed to like, okay, I want to make a video where I have all this B-roll, and so I want to do an unboxing, and then so I'm just gonna wait until I have everything and I'm set up and have the script written. Like, I had all of these blocks to creating because I had this attachment to this idea of how the video was supposed to look and why it needed to look that way in order for my videos and my channel to be successful. And of course, that grasping energy, that clawing energy, that desperate energy is the exact opposite of what people like and what people engage with. And energetically, we know that desperation pushes away everything we want. Like, if you want a partner and you're showing up desperate for a relationship, they're not interested. When you go to a job interview and you show up desperate, you know, to get the role, folks are like, whoa, what's going on? When you're working with a client, my most recent client, we literally were just catching up as friends. Like, I literally was not selling her anything. And I just referenced my coaching and she was like, wait a minute, what's going on there? And that's how she became a client. So people can feel when you like need something from them, whether that's in relationships, in business, in whatever else. And it is very, very unattractive. And it dawned on me where I was like, literally, what's going on, Chimdi? Because you started YouTube for fun, and here's this other thing that you want to do that's also fun, and you're doing neither. For what? For what reason? If you're someone who's in a similar dilemma where you have things that you want to make, but you're constantly in your head about like, okay, but what should I be making, right? Like the ideas aren't actually able to come through your body and become reality because you're constantly processing. I want to share a framework that hopefully can help you, and it's informed by David Hawkins' map of consciousness. So this is the idea that there are these invisible attractor fields behind all of our behaviors and actions, and they are tied to different levels of consciousness. If you know a person or a community or a country's like level of consciousness, you have a really good sense of what they'll think, what they'll say, what they believe, and how they'll act, which is pretty amazing and pretty kind of freaky when you think about it. But it's also beautiful because it shows that it's really not personal. What's also fun about it is that, of course, your beliefs are tied to your level of consciousness. So the beliefs that are on different levels make no effing sense to you. Like none. Because I was gonna, in this video, talk about how you need to have some sense, a greater sense of yourself beyond your physical body in order to escape this trap. And I was gonna say, you know, some people, they don't believe they have a soul. They just think they are their physical body, and as the physical body dies, they die too. Saying it like that, like some people think they are soulless, sounds to me insane. And I think if you're watching this, we probably have a similar vibration. So you're like, yeah, I have a soul. I'm not confused about that one. But there are some people who are like, no, I think like it's a wrap. Like I popped in, I'm popping out, and we're done. And those people, if they're watching this video, are like, she's insane. And I'm gonna put something in the comments about how her believing in God is wild. And that's why I can't, you know, subscribe. Actual comments I have received, by the way. But that's okay because we know it's not personal. It's truly just what you think and what you believe. And as I continue to like access different levels of consciousness, I'm sure the stuff I'm saying now, I'll be like, Chimdi, you sweet summer child. Back when you believed that nonsense you were spewing in early 2024, you know, like it's all fine, it's all beautiful. But it's really helpful to understand that you are not just your body, because if you think you're just your body, the most important thing will be to keep your body safe. You don't have room for anything else, because if something happens to your body, something happens to you, and you are now very seriously threatened. And it's important to understand that. That way you aren't sort of fighting against your own level of consciousness. If you're on this vibration of, I am just my body, you are doing yourself a disservice to then engage in behaviors that are at a different level of consciousness, because you're just gonna only end up feeling more of what you already feel, which is fear. And that's the tough thing too, is like, there's so much fear at that level of consciousness because this is all you've got. The lack and scarcity are so vivid because there is nothing else but the body, right? I actually have a discovery call coming up with someone, and I can sense that there is a lot of fear in their system. They are trying to bring down ideas and trying to create something, but I can tell that every time they try to, they hit some pocket of fear, and that bounces the energy back into their head, and so they're overthinking. And so if you want to move out of that fear, the key, of course, is to presence it and release it. I'm so grateful. A couple years ago, I would not even understand what I was talking about. Like, I would watch this video and be like, what is she? How do you meet fear? Fear is not a person on the street. How do I meet my fear? How do I know where it lives in my body? What? And I'm just so grateful that like, anytime I run into it, I can just be like, oh, I'm experiencing fear. And I can like settle into my body. I can find, is it in my stomach? Is it in my shoulders? Is it like, I can do the process. I'm so grateful. And so I did the process and I realized, oh right, I forgot the truth of life and of YouTube and of everything, which is you get to do whatever the F you want to do. And it's in being in your full expression that you attract people who admire and aspire to be like you. And still, of course, use the best practices and the things that I'm learning to like make the videos engaging and fun so that they are videos that perform well with the algorithm, but it's not my sole focus anymore. And I do want to name that financial insecurity is a real thing. And if I ever do feel like, okay, YouTube really isn't working out and I really do need some money, I can always start an OnlyFans and sell feet pics. If you want your 30-minute discovery call, you're a YouTuber or artist looking to start showing up more consistently and authentically, you can click the website link in my description box and put your 30 minutes on my calendar. All right, bye. This is gonna be fun to edit.